Hey everybody, I'm Laura Beth Wanger. Welcome to this embodied meditation exploration. So I want to begin by asking us all, including myself, to set aside ideas about getting this right. If we can, to put aside ideas about perfection and see if we can just be present with whatever arises. So we'll be doing several different components to this practice. And there'll be parts maybe that'll feel like they really resonate or they make a lot of sense for you. You like them, you feel like you can do them. And then there might be some parts where it feels like what I'm saying doesn't really work for you, or you might not quite understand what it is you should be doing or experiencing. In those moments, my hope is that rather than feeling like you're wrong or you're getting it wrong, you can say to yourself, all right, that isn't working for me right now, and just set it aside and keep going. When we're focused on perfection and getting it right, we are much less able to be present with whatever's unfolding in our bodies, in our minds, in this moment. So for this practice, we don't really need anything at all. I want to encourage you to be comfortable in your body in whatever way you need to do that. So you can be seated, you could be lying down, you could stand for parts of it. And if you know that you tend to be somebody who's a little bit fidgety, or somebody who traditionally has difficulty being present with embodied sensations, then you might have something like a little ball to play with, a fidget toy, or Play-Doh. I've got some therapy putty here that I'll be using later. The first thing that we're going to do is a practice to wake up the outside of our body, to find the outer edges of our body. And so you can do this in whatever position feels right to you. I'm going to start with one of my legs. So I'm taking my hands and I'm going to start by patting my leg. And I'm going to just see what touch feels right for me. So I like a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of massage on these bigger muscles. And I'm really feeling how I have a leg. Now, that sounds a little wacky maybe. You know you have a leg, but what does it feel like to have a leg with edges? So as I massage or squeeze or rub or scratch, I'm touching my leg to feel where my leg ends and the rest of the world begins. I'm going to go all the way down to my foot and see if I can wiggle my toes with my fingers. I'm waking up the outer edges of my body. A little massage for my foot, and you'll be doing whatever kind of touch feels right for you. As we go along, there may be parts that you don't want to touch, or you may find that your experience is a little different from mine, as I've already said. But keep the idea that what we're trying to do here is just find the idea of the outer edges of our leg. Sometimes it's nice to stand up and do this, a little pat, the back of the hip, your glutes there, the side of the hip. And then as you finish, as you've covered as much of that leg as you want to or can, then we'll pause for a moment and see if you can feel what it's like to have that leg. Notice the difference between your two legs. Does one feel different than another, more alive or bigger? Maybe it's a little tingly or warmer or cooler. And then we'll move on when you're ready to your other leg. So when we do this, what we're doing is waking up the idea of that leg, or whatever part we're working with, in our brain. So our body has sense receptors to tell us where we are in space and what it's like to have limbs. And sometimes we can get a little disconnected from those. And some of us have more of a predisposition to be disconnected from those. So waking up the body in this way, telling ourselves that we have feet and toes. This is a really important way to remind our brain about our body. And as you do this, if you look at your leg as you do this and say to yourself, this is my leg, see how that feels. See what that does for you. This is nobody else's leg. This is only my leg. And again, once you feel like you've covered that entire leg, pause and feel that you have two legs. Or If you don't have two legs, feel the lower part of your body that you just woke up. And then we'll move on. So going to an arm. Now each of us have different bodies and different variations on our human body. So there will be parts that maybe just aren't there for you, whether that's literally true or mentally true. You work with your body as it is today. Pay special attention when you get to the hands. We have a lot of touch receptors, a lot of sense receptors there, so this is a good part to wake up. And you can say to yourself, this is my arm, this is my shoulder. This is where the edge of me ends and the rest of the world begins. And once you've finished with that arm, pause again and notice. So we've woken up our lower half a bit, we've woken up one of the arms, and now we'll proceed to the other. Keep going in your own way. Find the outer edges of your body. For those of us who tend to feel sometimes a little bit blurry about where we end and other humans begin, or we easily take in other people's emotions, this can be a nice way to remember that we are separate to a certain degree, that we have our own experience, we have our own bodies, we have choice about what we do with our bodies. As you go, you're finding what kind of touch feels right for you. You might hit a little part that wants a little massage. My bicep here feels good to rub that a little bit. But you get to decide how to work with this practice, including not doing it at all. And then again, we'll pause. And now we'll go over any other part that we haven't yet done that we want to. So maybe the chest, doing a little tapping around the sternum. Maybe a massage around your neck. Feeling the edges of those bones under your skin. Little massage in the scalp. Finding the edges of your face, if it feels okay to touch there. Waking up your back, whatever you can reach. I'm doing a little light tap and pound on my back, feels good. Down to my lower back, around the stomach, if it's okay to touch there, and the chest, if it's okay to touch there. You decide what feels right for you. And then once you've covered as much of the outer edges of your body as you feel comfortable doing, let's just pause and feel into that for a moment. Do you have a sense of where your outer edges are? Now, as we go through this practice today, if you feel like you lose that, you can always go back to this practice. You can always go back to finding those outer edges again. Feeling your body from the outside in. Really important. Now we're going to move on to this next part of the practice, which is a little bit more mental. So if you find that you get a little lost or distracted as we go along, you can go back, as I said, to finding the outer edges, or you might hold an object like a ball and touch or roll it between your hands. If you have Play-Doh or any kind of putty, something you want to play with there, that's great too. So this is a good way to stay present with your body as we work with the mind. Now, if you know that you're somebody that tends to get a little lost or to kind of go away when your eyes are closed, I want to encourage you to keep your eyes open. In the meditation tradition, which I learned, Tibetan Buddhism, we do keep our eyes open while we meditate. It's not wrong to close your eyes, of course, if that feels better for you. I want you now to imagine, if you like, that your mind is like a handful of salt, maybe Epsom salts. And now imagine that your mind drops into your body like a handful of salt dissolving into warm water. Allow your mind to drop into the body and begin to dissolve in the warm, maybe liquid of the body. As your mind permeates your body, you can imagine or sense or feel how it fills out that container that we created. Feeling the outer edges of the legs, the feet, and the hips, how the mind now can drop into that area and dissolve into the warmth of the body in that way. See if you can feel the heaviness of the lower half of the body as the mind drops in. And again, if you feel like you get a little lost with this, come back to an object in your hands and just manipulate or roll the object. Let yourself feel that contact there. Be aware of that contact there. Letting the mind rest on that contact. Otherwise, allow your mind to rest, to dissolve into the body. You may be filling up now through the abdomen, up to the chest, into the shoulders, into the arms, in the face, mind resting in the body. Feeling the heaviness of the body. As your mind drops into it. You can feel maybe that the body is alive. The mind dissolving into the body doesn't mean that the mind goes away. It means that now we've permeated the body with our mind. So we can feel a sense of awareness and aliveness through our entire body. If this feels difficult to connect to, try moving the body, maybe just a hand over the leg, or the fingers wiggling in the air, or if you're working with an object between your hands, feeling that. Feeling how the mind can be in the body. And maybe how the body calls to the mind to notice, to be aware. To experience a sense of aliveness. Now, as you stay with this experience of mind and body together, you may find that there are places in your body where you've got some tension or some pain. And this may be something that's new right this moment or something that you've lived with for a long time. Remember that we're just being present with the experience as it is. So kindness, if we can, around whatever we find. And then perhaps imagining the mind dissolving into the body can begin to dissolve the tension or to bring ease to the pain. Or simply to spread the awareness through the entire body rather than being concentrated on just this one thing, just this one sensation. Feel how the whole body could be alive. Feeling those outer edges of the body where our legs are in contact with the seat or the floor. And if we lose that, again, returning to the contact of our hand on the leg or our hand on an object and feeling we have an outside to the body to feel. You might imagine that the mind, rather than being a handful of salt, is like a handful of light or glitter or sparkles that are now diffusing through our whole body. Allowing ourselves now to rest with this feeling of aliveness, of presence. And if your body needs to move, we can move the body. My ear just itched and I scratched it and I felt my body scratching my ear. So we're just present with this experience of having a body in a different way. It's not wrong to need to move the body. And now if we turn our experience, if we turn our awareness toward our mind's activity, it's been working this whole time, hasn't it? You might notice that you experience some mental tension or discomfort or agitation. How would it be to let that dissolve into the body? Rather than grabbing onto it or following that train of thought, just imagining that mental thing, that idea, that concept, that emotion dissolves into the grounded experience of the body, the heaviness of the body, the animal warmth of the body. Letting the body be a grounding place for the mind to land. Noticing that thoughts can arise and be present and then naturally dissolve. And in this way we metabolize them and let them move through us with our movement, with our breath, the natural processes of the body. And again, if you find yourself getting lost or wandering away, you can come back to the body through something very concrete, like working with an object like a ball, or if you have an animal that you're sitting or lying with, we can pet our cat or our dog. Present with the sensations and the experiences of having this human body. And let's just stay another moment or two. And then as you feel ready to come back into our everyday awareness, remember that this is always present with us. And we can drop back into this experience throughout our day, getting little tastes of it here and there, or we can do a longer seated or lying down, formal practice like we did today. If you've had your eyes closed, we can open them and come back, look around the room, orient yourself as needed. Maybe set a little bit of a post intention that whatever work we've done today that was helpful, that we will carry it forward into our lives, or that it might be helpful to us in working with ourselves, in working with others, in making the world a better place. Trust that that really is the case. Thank you all so much for being here with me today and practicing. I look forward to hearing your experiences. Remember, no matter what happened, there's no way to do this wrong. It's just practicing being present. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you again soon.